Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
So as our part of our Pride initiative, we're going to be playing our golf tournament with Get Real this Saturday, and very, very excited. And we just wanted to say thank you again. We'll have all the totals for you. We'll kind of post them all next week, but we just smashed the goal in terms of fundraising for them. Smashed it. And it makes us very, very proud that we've got such an amazing group of listeners that care this much. So however much you were able to donate, or even if you donated in spirit, because I know times are a bit tough right now economically. This is not a guilt trip.
No, you can also donate by being a positive energy in the world.
Yeah, being a good person.
Yeah, how about that?
Hey,
we just want to know. We wanted you to know how much we appreciated it.
If you donated a good for you.
Yeah, that's right. Now, here's my question.
Hey, Steve, I'm going to donate you a high five.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was great.
Jesse donated me a real high five, not the weird back.
No, this one I gave you a real one.
Wow, thanks, pal.
No problem.
I have a question about tomorrow, because it's a 9-hole, and it's best ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not totally keeping track of each person's score.
No,
based
team
on that.
score.
It's a team score.
Yeah.
So who's gonna get it in the air more, Steve or me?
Oh, how much have both of you golfed?
I've golfed 3 times this year.
Okay, so that's 3 more than me.
But that's also 3 times in the last decade.
Yes, I haven't golfed. I think I've golfed once, or I've probably
Yeah.
I haven't golfed much.
I'm usually good for 1, maybe 2 hits where you go, oh! That's about it.
Okay.
So if I have best ball once tomorrow.
That's how we'll judge it. That's how we'll judge it. Okay,
No, you had it wrong.
Yeah.
This is
So
much
hold
better.
on. Your over under is 1.5 or half?
Out of all 9, you'll get best ball more. Like you will have because you also got a putt, right?
Yeah.
I assume you'll make a couple putts.
You can putt.
Yeah.
You can putt that.
I don't know
Yeah.
about anybody, but
I 1.5.
no, I'm smashing the over. That's too easy.
Yeah, I think that's
gotta
pretty
be
No,
more
it
than-
isn't.
Yeah, you'll make a couple putts. Like
Okay,
we
who
can.
am I golfing with?
You're golfing with the 2 of us and Robbie Groen, one of our.
Yeah, I
skills.
think that's our foursome.
And Robbie's good, and Jesse's
Yeah.
good, and you and I stink.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm tempted to go for the over just because Jesse is the one we're competing against. But I thought you were talking about producer Drew, who's like supposedly fucking Tiger Woods.
He's really good too. Yeah. But
Really good too, he said.
Yeah, no, I think we have 3 pretty good golfers. Myself, Drew, and Robert.
Is Nick Andrade from the CJ show a good golfer?
He is
might be the only
horrendous.
one worse than me.
He
Really?
might be the worst golfer on planet Earth.
Have you golfed with him?
No, I've just heard stories from
No
Drew.
kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I love getting Drew and Nick in the same room together, because
Yeah,
they just give
they're
each other
alright.
so much shit. So we got Drew, we got Maddie, and we got Nick, and who else is golfing with them?
Justin.
Justin Fisher.
Yeah.
Is he a golfer?
No.
I think he has. Nick and I are going to get back to our Mediterranean roots and landscape the fuck out of that place.
I don't think they want that. I honestly don't think they want you touching their golf course.
I'm bringing a concrete mixer.
But Steve, so like we're gonna let you go first sometimes, So if we're all putting by the hole and it's like a couple feet, we're gonna let you go first, and you're gonna make a couple.
Oh,
Like I
thanks.
have very good confidence you're gonna have best ball a few times.
3. I will give myself a best boy gold star if I get 3.
3.
So over under 2.5,
Sure.
3.5.
Okay, what is this? What are you sharking me here?
I'm
You're
just
gonna
trying to
take all
figure
my
out.
money?
I'm just trying to figure out who gets of you and I, because we got you got to be. We're all very competitive, right? All of us. But I want to figure out like a way that you and I can compete, because we know Rob and Jesse are just going to be smashing it.
It's also, I don't think it's fair anymore now that I know Steve hasn't golfed at all and you've golfed 3 times.
It might not.
You're gonna
listen,
win.
I'm still horrible.
Yeah,
Still
but-
horrible.
Yeah, but at least you've picked up a club.
And the thing about golf is you can be good and have horrible days.
Yeah, that's
What if you're horrible?
and have a good day.
Not likely.
You've picked up a club that is so much further than what Steve has done.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. When was the last time you did golf?
2 years ago, I think, for my brother-in-law's bachelor party.
Okay.
And how were you?
Again, I had one of those shots where you go, "Ah!" And that's it.
Okay.
All right.
It's not going to go
I'm
well.
excited, man. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. Okay. I wanted to show you
Lunch was good.
one quick video. You guys remember when you were, you're hanging at your friend's house growing up, or you're playing sports growing up, and you have homework to do afterwards, and you could feel it's just the impending doom. Now, I know it's summertime, but I still feel like this kid had homework to do, because I don't know if you've seen this video, Jesse. I text messaged it to you. It's a goaltender.
Okay.
And he's playing hockey.
Yes.
And he's in full pads, right? He is on the ice. And it always takes goalies a little bit more time. And this kid is just around the age where he's able to do his goalie pads on his own. Because, you usually need parents or coaches to help you when you're like 6, 7, 8 years old. You just don't have the finger strength,
lot of
man.
stuff.
It is. Most kids are still getting their skates tied by their parents. I remember the day my dad said, "You're tying them on your own now." And it was a bad day. It was very, very hard. I want you to watch this kid and what he does in between plays. Steve just dropped his glasses on the floor.
Oh, no.
Hold on, I'll go get them.
Thank you. I made a mistake.
He reached for them and then punted them right off the desk, which is great.
I don't know if you got that on camera.
So, Jesse, can we bring it up here?
Yeah, I got the video here.
All right, watch what this kid does. Feels like there's homework afoot. This is between plays. It looks like he's drinking water, but no.
You reading a book?
Yeah. The goalie's reading a book. For anybody listening, we're watching a goalie read a book that's sitting on the back of his net.
So he's reading
In between whistles, he's got a book.
He's no water bottle. By the way, he's about Darren Pang sized at this point.
How?
Just under
Yeah,
the
this
crossbar.
is a child.
No, he's above the crossbar. He's bigger than Darren Pang.
Oh, okay.
That's true. Yeah. Also, I was reading some of the replies, and everybody is like 90% sure that it's the Bible.
No.
What?
Yeah.
How do they know
Look
that?
how thick it is.
How do they know that?
The girl who posted it was replying to, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Bible." Look at it. That's the Bible.
That's not the
Look how
Bible.
big it is.
I mean, there's lots of big books.
I don't know.
It's a big book,
Full of zoo
though.
stories.
Like you think about what were you reading in like grade 8, grade 9? You're like To Kill a Mockingbird.
The Bible.
Well, okay, if you guys were Catholic school boys, so
Yeah.
you were reading the Bible.
Exactly.
We were told you have to go home and read the Bible.
Were you actually?
No.
Okay. Goaltenders are weird though, and they, is a coach really going to say no? You can't read the Bible.
Yes.
Probably during a
on the
hockey
net.
game.
No, maybe that's what gives him his focus and his listen, we don't know. What puts you in your happy place? As a goaltender, it's a mental game more than anything.
What's the line? I know it's the Bible, but hey man, you got to tell that forklift operator.
I'm sure if he
can't
was
be reading that Bible.
I'm sure if he was reading 50 Shades of Grey or the Motley Crue biography, he'd probably, the goalie would probably be like, or the coach would be like, do you need to read that right now?
Those are two choices.
Two choices. But the Bible, it's like, okay, I need center, I need focus. Maybe he's reading Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah, the person
power
who
being
wrote
present?
It, they were asked, I need you to find out what book he's reading, and then Jazz, the person who posted it, said, "I couldn't ask. From what I saw, I'm going to guess the Bible." And then they replied again, "I couldn't ask, but I got a good look at it. It was very raggedy and looked ancient. My guess, the Bible."
I'm gonna say the Goblet of Fire.
Also, apparently, the game was tied.
Bro, what was the final score?
I need to know how this
Let me
ended.
see if they have the final score here. After that video, he let in 0 goals, so I think it worked.
So,
for him.
see?
Wow.
There you go.
See,
So I guess they won.
The Motley Crue biography worked. By the way, I want to ask you, there's so many videos on the internet where I'm like, why is there no follow-up to this? Have you seen the video of the golfer who's about to take a swing and there's like a gator who starts running at him as he's swinging?
That's just Florida.
I know, but isn't
is
that...
just-
That doesn't
I
need a
still wanna
follow-up.
know.
That's where you live. That's just life.
It's just Florida.
Yeah.
It's Florida.
Do you need a follow-up to you go to the grocery store? No. That's just their reality.
It's true, but I still want to know, because a lot of times what they do is they try to scare you, gators, right? They'll come out, they'll run at you, and then they'll take a side thing, because they're usually not attacking human beings. They don't want that.
Climate change is irreversible, and you go, ah!
It's the hottest day on record. But I just, there's certain videos that need a follow-up, and that one does.
Gators are the ones that were dinosaurs, right?
Yeah.
Gators, crocs, which are two very different species, by the way.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of those lizards are, like, I think, were Komodo dragons too, like, or at least they were right after dinosaurs, and they're still around. Sharks were around.
Pigeons.
Sharks, yes.
I don't think pigeons were.
Canada geese.
Lots
Pigeon
of
were
birds are
velociraptors.
descended from the dinosaurs.
But the birds?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Pigeons.
Yeah, no, the hockey players.
No,
They're descended from dinosaurs. They turned into pigeons.
Sometimes
they got
I wonder.
hollow bones. Make them skate faster.
let's talk to Dave, and then let's talk about how an NHL player just gave up $5 million of his own volition. It was his choice. Talk about it next.
You can bet that with David Bastel. Brought to you by Sports Interaction. Get in the action and make a play. 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
We had a hot dog eating contest earlier this week, which Jesse won big on. We'll have a home run derby to talk about next week. Dave, what are we going to talk about today with Sports Interaction? Because there's a big game tonight.
Yeah, there is, and it's a return of a guy that was a Cy Young candidate for the Blue Jays. We're talking about Alec Manoah. Over under strikeouts listed at 4.5. That's the one I'm targeting today, guys. I hope the guy does well. I hope he wins. I hope he kind of gets back on track. But 4.5 strikeouts for Alec Manoah against the Detroit Tigers, one of the bottom feeders. You know this, Jess, of the entire league. It seems pretty reachable, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're bringing him back in a spot where they think he's going to be successful. You bring him back to gain his confidence, and you put him against a team that hopefully he can strike out a couple of guys. I don't know, 5 strikeouts seems like a little much because I think he's only going to go about 5 innings. I don't know how strong he's going to be. Like the command of the strike zone, it wasn't there at all. And I don't know if he got entirely back. So I'm going to take the under. But that's just me.
I have a question about this because there's a lot of people who, a lot of bold predictions about how this is going to go. And his first start in like the Florida League didn't go well. But he started, I think, in double or triple A a couple weeks ago and was good.
Last week.
Last week. Yeah.
Double A. So people seem to be holding on to the first start rather than the improvement start. Is it actually true that if he has a bad game this time that they've lost him for the year? Because people are talking like, we'll never see him again. He's Ricky Romero. We'll never see him again. Like, what is this?
For the Jays, it's not really an option that he's done forever, after this game, because they need to make this work. So he's going to get a couple opportunities here. It won't just be one and done. I don't think that's on the table for them. And we forget that there's more than just the couple starts he had. He was down there training for weeks with all of the Blue Jays coaches. And you got to trust that they saw him day to day and they know what's happening more than us who just look at the box score from a couple Florida games.
Now, if I respond with, what about it's sports and only the results matter?
The results in practice?
Yeah,
that's what he was doing down there.
Okay.
What if I respond with it's Toronto and the worst scenario will happen?
Stop it. You know what's really funny, too, about Alec Manoah? Well, not so funny, but just the thought process. In training camp, everybody was talking about, we better get this guy signed because he's going to cost the team a lot of money. And there were some rumors going around that this guy would be making $25+ million per season. There were some rumors out there. I think that's off the table right now.
Yep.
I'm just speculating here, but it's incredible to think that's how far we've come, and it's only the middle of July.
It's crazy how what an extension could be at the beginning of a season versus a player's performance. You could what do we say about Michael Bunting for a bit there? Spent money.
He spent money when he got suspended in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Now we saw in free agency he didn't spend that much.
No, he did okay. He did okay, but it's funny. You can see that all the time, and you can make your money there too. Dave, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you Monday. Okay, pal?
Awesome. Have a nice weekend.
So, what if I told you guys that you were both guaranteed to make $5 million over the next 2 years?
I would listen to Steve Yzerman and do whatever I was told.
$5 million.
I would say, why is Adam Wild Enterprises unpaying me? I'm getting underpaid. Why are you underpaying me, Adam Wild Enterprises?
Filip Zadina just gave up $5 million. Now, we played the clip last episode of Yzerman saying, listen, he wanted that extension last year. I signed it. I wanted him to grow. He didn't. And now he may not get the opportunity he wants to get because The cap is flat. The money just isn't there with teams to take a chance on a guy making $1.85 million who doesn't play any defense and isn't producing offensively. So he's going to have to go to the AHL and figure it out there. And so what they ended up doing, and this is what's so crazy, is yesterday he was put on waivers for an unconditional waivers for a mutual contract termination, meaning that Zadina's people went to the Detroit Red Wings and said, listen, totally understand your position. Why don't we just scrap the contract? And that rarely happens.
So to give you an idea, like, I wonder if Zadina's people are Zadina's people who signed this deal, because it's a genuinely terrible deal, considering where he was in his career. For a younger player, for their salary to start low and go up makes sense.
Sure.
But makes a lot more sense if you have a concrete spot in the lineup. And based on Steve Yzerman's very uncharacteristically upset reaction with what happened with Zadina, I think all of this was explained to him. Like, listen, man, your contract, the between the cap hit and the money, if you're not in a certain place, if you're not a guaranteed NHLer by year 2 of this deal, you're useless to us. $915,000 was his salary last year. 1,830,000. So it doubles year 2. And in year 3, 2,730,000. He's leaving the majority of that contract on the table.
Mm-hmm. Oh. That is a big bet on yourself moment. It's potentially a great story.
So here's the thing. It is potentially a wonderful, wonderful story.
This could be very cool.
Wasn't the original contract betting on yourself? The Red Wings were like, hey, listen.
No, because it wasn't a crazy contract.
Which makes it worse.
It's a player coming off their entry-level deal, going and making $1.8 million against the cap. Mm-hmm. That's not a bet on yourself deal. That is a very reasonable contract. And he couldn't live up to less than $2 million against the cap.
Right. So he bet on, well, I'm certainly going to be at least that good.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. So I would say he bet on himself and failed.
Yeah.
Under that deal. Which doesn't, I mean, well, how old is the kid? 21? 22? I mean,
Zadina's 23.
23. Oh,
yeah.
Oh man, it's so I don't think I've ever seen this. Like a team just completely walk away from a player at this point in their career. I'm trying to think of how old Nail Yakupov was when the Oilers walked away. It's probably around now.
Yeah. And I don't think, like, it doesn't seem like Detroit walked away, because if they put him on waivers and nobody claims him, he could go down to Grand Rapids and play, you know? Like,
and they did try to trade him.
Right.
You know that.
There was an opportunity here where he could stick around in Detroit's system, just not at that cap hit for them, and they would have been fine. But since he wants to go and have an NHL job and rehabilitate himself at the NHL level, and Chris Johnson reported that it doesn't sound like Filip Zadina will have too long to wait before finding a new home. He has some options.
I can see that.
He's going to get a home somewhere. It's just not at that price point.
He might have a home by the end of the show.
Exactly. Like, a lot of teams are knocking at his door. It's just not at $1.8 million on against the cap.
So I have a question about this. By the way,
contract will be bought out, I guess terminated in about 4 minutes.
Ansar Khan, who writes for M Live in Detroit, he's a Red Wings reporter, says that Yzerman said Zadina Zadina and his agent asked for a trade a few weeks ago. They tried to accommodate it, weren't able to find a team that was interested, so they waived him. But he's not writing off his career and believes he can still be an NHL player, which is great, and we love that. I think what's fascinating about this is that here's how I see it playing out, and I could be completely wrong. Maybe this guy has a crazy camp for a team that isn't that deep, and he comes out and he gets the ice time that he needs. Like, I look at a team like the Ducks or Arizona, who are a little bit thin up front. You know, why not take a chance on a guy like this? But if he goes to a system with like let's say it's like a Leafs or a Rangers or Boston or Calgary or Edmonton, or, you know, you name a team with a lot of forward depth, right? And let's say the organization like him. They want him to develop, but they don't see him as an NHL player yet. What happens when that is what he ends up in the AHL again for the first 45 games, and he's making half the money?
So instead of having $4.56 million over the next 2 years, he gets the AHL contract, and he's just there anyways. I don't understand this.
I love the balls. I fucking love the balls. And I've loved the balls on this guy. Phrasing. I've loved the guts that this guy has since the moment he was drafted. Because, when he was passed over by a couple teams and he said, I'm going to fill their nets full of pucks. And I was sincerely hoping that he...
Ottawa, right?
Okay. I was hoping that he would. Because, you're like, man, I love seeing people make bold predictions that actually get through on it. Hasn't happened yet. I just... I listen, is it a good idea? I think we can all agree that it's not. But if it works out, he's going to look like a genius.
Yes.
Like in a lifestyle perspective, if you, looking at me in this camera, had an opportunity to make $4.8 million in the next 24...
4.56.
Sorry, $4.56 million in the next 24 months, are you doing anything to jeopardize that? No. No, you're not. That's okay though. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, fine. I'll go to the minors and friggin'
I'll play with Grand Rapids. It's a good program.
I don't give a shit.
When was this contract? Do you guys know when this contract was signed? The one that just got terminated?
Last summer?
August 26th, 2022.
So less than a full
Less
year.
than 12 months ago, Filip Zadina absolutely, I don't know if he ruined his reputation, but showed the Red Wings organization that he is not this player within less than one calendar year. That's how bad it was this past year for Filip Zadina.
I think he only got into 30 games this year too.
That's a disaster.
Yeah.
So...
What is it, Jeff or Steve?
Well, he's going to have to go to a team that believes in him, right? So it's going to be more than there's an opportunity there. It's they believe in him. Mm-hmm. And like, I'll give you an example. Arizona Coyotes. Their biggest flaw right now is they don't have players.
Alexander Kerfoot.
So
possibly Matt Dumba.
Possibly.
So,
we'll get to that.
Who is a more established NHL player? Let's play this game. Clayton Keller. Well, obviously not. Nick Schmaltz.
Yeah.
Obviously Nick Schmaltz.
Yeah.
Jason Zucker,
Yeah.
who they just got. Lawson Krause. Alex Kerfoot, who they just got. Nick Bjugstad. Barrick Hayton. And only now are we reaching players that Zadina has a chance over. Travis Boyd, Liam O'Brien, Michael Carcone, who had a fantastic season in the AHL, Matthias Michelli, who still needs a deal, but he was a great rookie, and Jack McBain, who had a great season and was a good rookie. Like, so you even take a team like that. Like, where is this guy going to get an NHL job? Where is he going to take a job where he's part of the top 12 forwards every night? And I don't think it serves him to be one of the 10, 11, or 12 forwards.
No, you got to be top 9. You got to have some offensive
Where
role.
the hell is he going to go?
Well, I think you can go to teams like I said, I'm not trying to take shots here. Chicago has filled out their top 12, right? They're not thin up front like they were last year. The Ducks are pretty thin. Like, if you have a look at their lineup, it's pretty thin.
That could be an option.
Arizona is an option. But here's the problem with going to teams like that. If the Ducks play like the Ducks did last year, if Arizona plays like Arizona did last year for the majority of the year, nobody had great numbers. Nobody looked good. Look at John Klingberg's defensive metrics with the Ducks. Now, is he a bad defensive defenseman, John Klingberg? Absolutely. But is he that bad? No, I don't believe that. I think it's just a product of playing with a hopeless team like the Ducks were last year.
You can make the argument it's a product of playing with good defensemen in Dallas.
Sure.
You know?
It's amazing how good players get better when they're surrounded by other good players, though, isn't it? Isn't that crazy? How the numbers improve, too? Yeah. I think with Zadina, it's like, okay, obviously he's going to have offers. One team I wondered about, who needs scoring depth?
I mean, everyone. Are you going to say the Leafs?
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have a look?
Wouldn't you drop that coaster?
I would. Listen, we're all dropping something today.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you take a shot? Because once you get past the top 6, I mean, Nick Robertson's going to be fighting for a spot. If you're Filip Zadina and you've got that kind of confidence, do you think that you can outduel Nick Robertson for a spot? Do you think that you can slide in along? I don't know who their third line center is going to be. If it's Holmberg or Kampf or somebody else, is it Domi? And is it one of the things Kyle Dubas was really, really good at with the Leafs was convincing guys, hey, listen, come over, come play with the Marlies a little bit. We're going to have injuries, but we're going to give you your shots with the Marlies, and we're gonna develop you and be. And the Leafs do have that system still in place.
Zadina doesn't want to play for the Marlies. If you want to play in the AHL, you could have stuck around at Grand Rapids.
Okay, well then,
and made $4.56 million.
Okay, top 6 pick, ridiculous talent, has underachieved so far, is going to go somewhere for probably close to league min.
Pittsburgh.
What number is he going to wear in Tampa?
Oh.
What number is Filip Zadina
like
going to wear in
that.
Tampa?
You know what? I like that fit.
It's not bad.
I like that fit a
Of
lot.
course you like that fit.
Yeah, and the other one I wondered about was staying within the division, the Buffalo Sabres,
That could be neat.
Yeah.
because they're at that point where I would think they're either making the playoffs this year, but they're for sure making it next. I just worry about their goaltending a little bit still. Preds?
Nah.
I don't think he fits that system. But
No,
Buffalo is young and exciting, and they have like offensively just dynamic players. I wonder if he fits in there and can kind of feed off of that.
Isn't Edmonton the land of come here and throw up 60 points out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Florida.
But
With Connor Brown, I think they kind of got that locked up.
if they were interested in that, they would have pulled him for Yamamoto and Costa. Don't you think?
No,
Maybe
not
at
at that number.
Not at that number.
No,
Yeah, okay.
nobody wants him at that number. But I think CJ's right in that he's going to have a job within like the 4 minutes or whatever. It's going to be there. It's just a matter of he needs to stick now in the NHL level. And like, if you want to be a top 6 forward, it's 6 times 100 or it's 6 times 32. So it's like almost 200, it's like 192. So
Don't make me do math.
Filip Zadina a top 200 forward in the NHL? I don't know. Probably just out of there.
I'm looking at why not?
Like,
Why couldn't he be?
I don't think he's probably gonna stick somewhere. It's just a matter of where, and if he's actually as bad as the Red Wings think, then this could be a disaster. But we'll see. He's gonna get the opportunity, is what I'm trying to say.
So I'm looking at I'm going back to the Sabres for a second because they're going to give Lucas Rausick a shot, who's like a 6th rounder from like 2019, but he lit up the AHL last year. But it's like the third line is Greenway, Middlestat, and right now Rausick. And if he played 2 games last year in the NHL, so if you're Buffalo, why wouldn't you take a shot on a guy like this? Look at Buffalo's first power play unit's silly. It's Tuck, Cousins, Skinner, Tage Thompson, and Rasmus Dahlin.
Pretty good.
Yeah, right? Crazy.
Pretty good.
But then I look at their second power play unit, and nothing against the forwards here, but JJ Peterka, Casey Middlestat, and then right now Daily Faceoff has Lucas Rausick slotting in there.
I mean, you're making a face at Rausick. I'm making a face at Middlestat.
Well, Middlestat's the center, right?
Yeah.
So that's why. But I just think, man, like even something like that, there are holes on some of these up and coming teams he could fit in.
Yeah, there's a handful of teams where there's a top 6 role for Zadina somewhere. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of the conclusion we're coming to, is that it's a good bet. It's not the worst bet in the world because he's going to get an opportunity. It's just now a matter of, is he actually talented?
And CJ confirmed Zadina cleared. He is now officially an unrestricted free agent.
There it is.
4 minutes ago.
Yeah. And Andy Andrioff, who people scoffed at yesterday when I tweeted about him. Yes, he's 32. He had 37 goals in the AHL last year. Like that's the sort of player who could play in the NHL, I think, but he's probably going to make more money overseas.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe that's what Zadina has too. He probably has offers.
Not very lucrative. Like,
What's SDA making?
$500,000 American. Jesse.
Oh yeah,
came up
what is it, 6 million rubles we did last show? We converted it.
with, or whatever
It was 4 points. I forget what it was, but it came out to 500 USD.
507,000
Yeah.
American dollars. I have no idea how taxes work over there.
It would make more sense if he was Russian, but he's from Czech Republic, right? It's more. It's more likely he'd go home if he's Russian and play in the KHL.
Does the Czech league pay well?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
My guess is no, because I have no idea.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
If they did, I'd know.
We probably would have heard about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, I want to wish him the best personally, because I just think, man, giving up $5 million guaranteed to bet on yourself. No one's going to think that is, like, from our layman's terms, going to think that's a good idea, but nobody knows you like you know yourself, and good on him. Sink or swim. You got to go for it.
You keep talking about the cap going up, all right? So all he's got to do to make this a success is put up a good season this year and then sign for something like $3 million.
Yeah, what did Kerfoot do? 10 goals last year? And he got 3.5, and he's had 3.5 for the last 4 years before.
He's just a perennial 30-ish point guy. 30
points to get you $3 million in the NHL next year.
if you can play center.
Okay, so 2.5 then.
There's a lot of things working against this kid. I'm cheering for the good side of this story because, if you're a Red Wings fan, I understand why you may not cheer for this individual, and that's fine. But
do you though? Red Wings fans, or at least the wing wheel guys, are all like they're supportive.
No, I know, but you don't want like Zadina to score 40 goals next year, and then you go, "Fuck, we got nothing for the 6th overall pick, and he's good."
Right.
Yeah.
Like that means the Red Wings probably made a mistake. Like let's be honest. If he turns into a star, the Red Wings at some point down the line made a mistake.
And Steve Yzerman is the one who gave him this contract, and Steve Yzerman is the one who's terminated this contract.
Well, he's the one who gave him a contract he couldn't bury, right? So he was probably going to either healthy scratch this kid, which makes no sense, or send him to the minors at a roughly $500,000 penalty against the cap, which also makes no sense.
He
didn't sign a good contract.
No.
This wasn't a good contract for anybody.
I think that that's one I'm going to watch all summer. I want to know where he ends up. I want to know how he puts in. I'm very excited.
Watch it all afternoon.
Also, we did best and worst free agencies last episode, guys. I think the nominee for the weirdest has got to be the Detroit Red Wings. They were up there. I can't figure out if what they did was good or bad. It's just, it did happen, though. It's
like last summer where it's like, gosh, they did a lot. And some of it looked pretty smart. Like they got Perron last year. That was good.
That was a good pickup.
They got Sprung this year. That was good. Gave Sherratt way too much money last year. Okay. It's too much, but I suppose I understand. Give Hall an unbelievable amount of money. Okay, I don't understand that. Andrew Kopp last year was fine. Comfer this year, it's a lot of money, but it's fine. They're just kind of the strange hodgepodge team. Like I'm not totally sure what their identity is.
I agree with you.
Again, I as a Leaf fan, I'm thrilled Tyler Bertuzzi's here. I think it's weird as hell he's not a Red Wing.
He could have been.
Wait,
the big long deal they could have signed him to, like, they had the money this year. They were one of the few teams who had money.
They had an identity, which was we're a bunch of pesky assholes.
Yeah.
Like Dylan Larkin and Tyler Bertuzzi and Jake Wallman. They were a team, and Moritz Seider, who can hit the hell out of you. They were a team that could...
Don't forget Ben Sherratt.
Yeah. They were a team that could exhaust you without an abundance of size. Mm-hmm. Like they were just sort of a bunch of assholes. You kind of need to be that. Like they were the sort of team I wouldn't really want to run into in the playoffs.
The Bertuzzi thing was interesting too because they made the decision at the trade deadline, right? So they had the discussions with Bertuzzi and they came to the conclusion that they couldn't sign him at whatever number he wanted. And I think that was a miscalculation of the market and just the value that having Tyler Bertuzzi would have. It's if he's cost this X number that we think he should have got this free agency period, and it turns out he didn't get that at all, but he's probably going to get it next season. Why not just make that deal and have him at a comfy number as the cap goes up? He's a great player.
Yeah.
It was also tricky. Like, I don't think this was a particularly good summer to be a free agent.
No, it wasn't. It was definitely not.
Like we spoke about it and like, okay, teams are going to go out there and make mistakes because it's a poor free agent class. And they, by and large, didn't.
Yep.
And they're going to save all their mistakes for next year.
Which will be even more fun. Can't wait. The Alex Debrincat saga, and it is a saga now, continues. in Ottawa. Now, one person who clearly isn't very happy with the Debrincat camp is Bruce Garriock of the Ottawa Sun, who has tweeted regularly about how Debrincat's stance and his people and his idea of how much he's worth is holding up this deal. Here's the interesting part. Debrincat's agent has responded directly to these reports.
Oh,
so I'm going to give you part of. So we know that Garriock has tweeted some stuff alluding to this. Also from his column, I'm going to read you out some stuff. He says speaking on the highly popular Ray and Dregs podcast Monday, TSN insider Darren Dreger told co-host and former NHLer Ray Ferraro that Debrincat's camp is demanding an 8-year, $70.2 million deal, which puts him in line with basically Timo Meier. Debrincat wants a long-term extension. This is a quote from Dreger, not just from the Senators. He'd prefer to play in the U.S. just for family reasons, and that's up to him. He's at a place in his career where he can navigate that path. Now, we know Detroit's interested. We know that Zadina directly affects this because Detroit now has $2 million more to play with. And
That's right.
The Islanders and Ducks are also among the teams that are interested. None of them at this point, according to what's been insinuated. And again, nobody's come out and actually just said it, but it's been hinted at that none of them are interested in the term that Debrincat is said to be wanting. And Dorian doesn't want to pull the trigger on a trade until such time, at least this is again what's been insinuated, an extension is worked out between the acquiring team and the parties, because it means that Ottawa would get far less without it, right? They get a lot more if he signs an extension in Ottawa, a sign and trade, right?
And he needs a win here.
Yeah.
He gave up a lot for this player. He's got to recoup at least that.
Ian Mendez of The Athletic actually spoke to Debrincat's agent. And
who is his agent?
Jackson. I don't have his first name. Jeff Jackson. Yeah. After
you should have had that.
I should have had
His
that.
name's Jeff, Adam.
Sorry.
The one guy
name
is
is
actually
Jeff.
named Jeff.
My
One
name is
time
Jeff.
you don't guess Jeff.
Adam.
Here's how the article reads. I love the drama in Ottawa right now. After a headline in the Post Media, not even naming the Sun, which I love, stated, quote, Alex Debrincat's contract demands are holding up a trade from the Ottawa Senators. That was the headline. Jackson called the report, quote, entirely false and without merit in a text message to The Athletic. Jackson wanted to clarify the circumstances around his client, which he believes have been mischaracterized by recent media reports. By the way, the main person reporting on this happens to be the Post Media reporter, and some local podcasters too. As far as I have been advised, according to Jeff Jackson, there have been no agreements of any kind on an actual trade involving Alex, and I would require that before entering into any negotiation. We are waiting patiently for that to happen. Agents and players don't make trades. That's the GM's job. By July 1st, this is Pierre Dorian on June 28th. By July 1st, I think we'll have a good idea. Quote, maybe teams that aren't in right now could be if the players they want to target, they can't acquire. On Saturday, which is July 1st, Dorian then conceded, when the arbitration period ends, we'll have to make a decision.
There's such a hard bottleneck in the league right now. Like, nothing's getting done.
The Senators filed for arbitration with Alex Debrincat yesterday because, as you remember, I believe they qualified him, but he's not going to accept the qualifier. According to Pierre Dorian on Saturday, which is July 1st, he indicated to us that he won't sign here long term. That doesn't mean he won't sign short term, though. So here's the scenario. If Dorian doesn't get this worked out, and this is where it comes down to him, they've been trying to push in the media in Ottawa, oh, this is all down to Debrincat and his outrageous demands.
Whoa.
Really what it comes down to is Pierre Dorian's not getting his price.
Yeah.
And the pressure's on him because if they get this contract done, and let's say he's an Ottawa Senator in October, which it's looking more and more like he will be, first off, Debrincat then can't sign a contract extension for the 24-25 season until after January 1st. Mm-hmm. So even if you want to deal him and you want him to sign the extension at the next place, you can't trade him until January 1st, 2024. And that means you're basically looking at trading Alex Debrincat at the trade deadline, which, depending upon how much he makes in a flat cap world, might be very hard to do. And maybe he has a bad year. Maybe he gets hurt. maybe something hurts his value. Man, I didn't realize until I kind of read into this how much pressure is on the Senators to get this done.
He cannot sit out either. Like, he can't do what Nylander did.
No, he's got to agree to the 1-year deal. But I think Dorian's the guy under the pressure here. Because you're right, he did give up a lot, but also that I forgot about that stipulation. When you sign the guy as an RFA, he can't sign the extension until the first day of the next year.
Yeah, it's when you sign it through arbitration, right?
Right, which is bizarre, but I don't know why it matters. But it matters, apparently.
Something similar happened to Kotkaniemi. It wasn't through arbitration, but he wasn't able to sign an extension with Carolina until January.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I think, it's...
There's a lot of intrigue to go around here, man. Ooh.
Now,
I don't know how this ends.
Debrincat is a 2-time 40-goal scorer already. He's down in the 20s this year with Ottawa.
28.
Not bad. I'm not taking away from him. Also, Ottawa didn't score as much as they wanted to. Josh Norris was out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Forget the trade, because we can blue sky trades all day. We have no idea.
We could also thread trades all day.
We could thread trades all day. You're right. That's a good point. Guys, what do you think your number would be if you're the acquiring team on Alex Debrincat? He wants Timo Meier money. They are two completely different players. Meier's a little more physical, does score a lot, but Debrincat is, to me, like pure goal scorer. And there's lots of teams that could use pure goal scoring.
Yes. Okay, so goal scoring is extremely hard to do. I think a player like Timo Meier is a bit of a unicorn, where he's sort of the full package. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I guess for me, the conversation sort of comes down to who would you rather? I mean, I'd probably rather have Timo Meier right now, based on the season Meier had and the season Debrincat had. Meier's contract, I think, pissed off some players.
Why?
I think it's really good. Tom Fitzgerald's done nothing but extremely tidy work with the New Jersey Devils. Their cap structure,
It's awesome.
It reminds me a lot of Tampa from a few years ago, where everyone's locked up. Everyone very clearly took a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's still pretty fairly compensated or well compensated. They're young and they're in a good spot to win. I look at Debrincat. Like, one thing that we've said over and over again with him, and it makes me cringe every time, is he's not necessarily a play driver. Like, he's a great finisher, but he's not necessarily a play driver. Dude, I'm not giving you $9 million for 8 years or whatever if you don't drive play. What are you talking about? So, like, the Senators were, like, let's say one center injury away from, like,
a 10-goal reduction,
kind of being ordinary. You know what I mean? I kind of agree with the not giving him 8 years thing. But now here's how this could work out for Debrincat. You go out there, you light the league up for 50 this year.
Yeah.
Which he's fully capable of.
Yes.
And you go into next year and you go, the number is 10. I scored 50 goals. I'm a free agent. 10.
Ottawa would never
$80
let
million
that happen,
contract.
right? Ottawa would never let it reach that point where you would recoup zero assets for this player that you traded the 7th overall pick in 2022 plus the 39th overall.
It's also worth mentioning he's younger than Meier. Like, I want to say by, like, what, 4 years?
Yeah, Debrincat's 25.
Man, I really like that player. It's so much money. I guess the Sens don't really need to worry about the cap, but he doesn't want to stay there.
No, he's not saying he wants to play for a U.S. team. Like, I think that's a foregone conclusion. And there's got to be a team out there who's willing to do it. You know, a team not in contention right now. Like, I think if Anaheim didn't make a couple of those signings, they'd be ripe to do something like
I wonder if Ottawa drops the whole, well, he's got to have an 8-year extension worked out too. Because, like, remember what happened with Mark Stone where they barely got him traded by the trade deadline? It was like a few minutes before. Yeah. I wonder if they're just like, you know what? Sometimes you got to take an L grab a good prospect in return.
No, because I think like it's the other team who wants the 8-year extension plus Debrincat, right? Yeah. He wants to sign a long-term deal with whatever team he's going to. Plus the other team who's acquiring him doesn't want to be in the position that Ottawa is in right now, where he wants to leave.
What about this conversation? Alex, we need each other. We need you to play for our team. And you need to have a better than 28 goal season for us. You need to have a better than 28 goal season so you can get the money you want. We need you to have a better than 28 goal season so that we can recoup the assets we paid for you.
Yeah, but when?
I think
it would be
Ottawa this year.
We have to be trade deadline.
You think he's playing through in Ottawa and they're trading him at the trade deadline? There's so much less assets you can get as opposed to the offseason.
Okay, important question. Is he a RFA or UFA?
He's RFA right
RFA.
now, UFA at the end of it. UFA at the end of next year.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. The Ottawa can't sit here and let this thing play out. There's too much trouble. All the scenarios Adam just played out where, hey, what if he doesn't play well? What if he gets injured?
What if the center that drives the play isn't playing?
What if he has a bad year?
Also, I don't think there's a comparable trade out there for what Ottawa gave up for him. So Ottawa gave up pure futures, if I'm not mistaken.
A first, a second, and a third.
And the first was in the top 10 last
It was
year.
the
7th.
It was the 7th overall pick plus the 39th overall pick.
I just don't think that's out there. Like, what team is able to be? Oh yeah, we'll just take on $9 million. Ottawa's gonna. Like, I don't think they're heading into next season with the intention of, oh yeah, we'll sell off at the deadline. Like, I think they want to try to make the playoffs. So you're going to need to go out there and do something like the Pierre-Luc Dubois deal, where you get pieces that are going to help your roster now. Mm-hmm. And if you can get futures, then wonderful.
That's what they'd want, right? They'd want that.
I kind of think that's the deal they need to look at.
Well, I just think that they're feeling like they won't make the trade unless it involves the extension because they believe that they can't get their fair value back for him.
Yep. 100%.
And that's their
and
thing.
they're right to do that because they need to get as many assets they can for what they gave up.
Rock, meet hard place. Yeah, and you're dealing within the division if you deal with Detroit. Mm-hmm. Yzerman is doing to the Sens what we thought everyone was going to do to the Jets. Like what we thought Montreal was going to do to the Jets. Like, well, you have an unhappy player and he only wants to go to one place. Gosh, I wonder how this is going to work out. Shall I give you the sun and the moon?
Now or later.
And then they said, oh, wait, LA exists.
LA exists. Let's get like 4 roster players or whatever.
Yeah. So it's right now, it's a matter of looking at what American market teams who need a high-scoring winger and have a bunch of cap space, or at least the freedom to do a long-term deal. Like, what are those teams?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to see where Zadina signed. Oh man,
you wonder. Like I mentioned, there's the Arizona is always on the table, you know, because they have all the cap space in the world, and they can always use young players they can lock down to stick around there for a long time. Anaheim's in a very similar position. You look at a team like Seattle. Seattle doesn't really have a game breaker. They could always use, but
true.
they more so need a center, I would say, than as opposed to a high scoring winger.
That's true. Arizona's so interesting because they still have a preposterous amount of picks. Mm-hmm. Like they could give up a lot,
and it's just okay because they wouldn't miss it.
They could give up here. I'm gonna look at their picks. I had their page open. Yeah. So okay. If I'm Arizona, here's my problem. Because Ottawa probably wants a first round pick involved in that deal.
Sure.
Arizona's only first round picks they have for the next 3 years are theirs. I'm not giving you any of those.
Is Philly a solution?
I mean,
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they're aggressive enough too.
Yeah. They've been making a lot of moves. Daniel Brier's been making a lot of moves to try and retool the team.
Philly has their own first and Florida's first.
There you go.
So that could be something. And if you're the Sens and you need roster players back, like, is Konechny involved in that deal? Mm-hmm. Is Lawton involved in that deal?
Konechny, for me, it's like, I mean, that would be the guy if I'm the center. That's the guy I want.
Wow,
and
they really don't have any forwards.
Who, the Flyers?
Yeah.
Philly's an interesting name, though.
Maybe Zadina ends up there, by the way.
So Couturier and Atkinson are on injured reserve. I don't know.
I think Atkinson might be back. I'm not sure about Couturier. I'm not sure if he ever plays again.
Well, after that, it's Konechny, Joel Farabee, Scott Lawton, Garnet Hathaway, who they just got, Nicola Delorier, Owen Tippett, Ryan Paling, Wade Allison, I don't know who that is, Tanner Lazinski, I don't know who that is, Noah Cates, who actually got some Selke votes this year as a 24-year-old, and Morgan Frost. Cates and Frost are both RFAs, and I know Cates has filed for arbitration. I don't know about Frost.
Okay.
Dude, they don't have forwards. There's moves out there, but I don't think this is going to be a comfortable summer for any involved.
Okay.
There's got to be a lot of pressure to do it this offseason and not risking it taking place during the season.
Also,
sorry, the Flyers only have $5.5 million in cap space?
What about with LCIR?
I don't know.
I'm sure it's different because Couturier didn't even play a game last year.
Yeah.
He says he's coming back next year, but they all do.
Oh, cap space with LTIR candidates 11.7.
Yeah,
There you go.
they got the money.
Yeah.
They got the money. So anyway, fascinating story to watch. And this is the thing, like I'm so glad that we continue doing these shows because the drama doesn't end, especially in the flat cap era. It just keeps going. The guy that they are rumored, the Ottawa Senators are rumored to maybe want to replace Alex Debrincat with is Vladimir Tarasenko, who, as of last show, was rumored to be going to the Canes imminently. However, we found out mid-show that he had fired his agent. This is his now third agent. Pat Brisson is his third agent in 3 seasons.
Wow.
So that's tough. And I was reading a little bit about it, and I thought this quote was very interesting. So JP Barry is also a part of the Pat Brisson, I think it's CAA group. And he said, Pat and I got up to speed really quickly here, and we're calling all the teams. We're going to call every single team. We know there were about 4 or 5 that were involved just by talking to Vlad. We've gone back to square one where the discussions were, who was contacted, who wasn't, and we're going to find out exactly where things were as of last night. I don't want to comment until I find out exactly where the discussions were, what time, what was offered. I can't comment until I talk to all these teams. Now, I want you to imagine you're the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's say this rumor was true. Can you imagine how annoying it would be?
I wasn't swept. Sorry, I'm getting into character. I wasn't swept, even though I was swept. All right,
can you imagine how annoying it would be to be, Don Waddell and Eric Tulsky and you're right there with Tarasenko and he fits the team and he's the scoring depth you need if, like last year, you lose Aho and Teravainen going into the playoffs. And all of a sudden, we were 20 minutes from signing this contract, but he's fired his agent and we're starting the process.
You know what I'm going to guess?
Fuck, that's
out of
annoying.
Pure speculation. That number that Carolina offered was not good enough.
I doubt it was a good number.
They are routinely underpaying their players.
What?
And I assume
they paid Bunting and Orlov.
they did.
They did.
I assume they did not want to pay Vladimir Tarasenko the number that he thinks he's probably worth, and that he looked at it and he said, you know what? I'm not going to accept this little less from Carolina. I'm going to try and get something else. I'm going to get a new agency and see if they can negotiate a bigger deal somewhere else. That's just a pure speculation.
The Hurricanes do not overpay players.
No.
We know that. $5 or $6 million for a guy who had 18 goals and 50 points in 69 games.
Where are you getting $5 or $6 million?
That's the report.
Do you think
That was the number?
That was the number that's out there.
You think he gets that?
Look up Tarasenko, $5-6 million. I can't remember who had it.
If you look back on just like NHL players and them going to get their bag, he signs that 7-year deal, 7.5 or 8-year deal with the St. Louis Blues. He plays it out. He gets traded at the end of it. You should always sign that deal in the prime of your career. Always just do it. Like, never fault a player like Debrincat chasing after that 8-year contract, because at the end of that, when you're in your early 30s, unless you're the mega star and you can maintain that level of play, your next contract's going to be a lot less.
People are just not understanding where I'm at with Austin Matthews and William Nylander. Like, yes, from the player's perspective, of course, go out and get all the money in the world. If you cheer for a team because there's a hard cap, you cheer for every player to make as little as possible.
They should all
And
play
if
for
you
league
don't,
man.
you're a little weird. You're a little weird because you're actively cheering against the team that you cheer for, which is weird. Tarasenko, though, 34 goals, 82 points in 75 games the season before.
Yeah, he was great.
Still good.
He was
So
great.
many hard miles. so
There's
many
no
injuries.
report that I
don't know
can
what I'm
find
paying for.
that names it, but everybody seems to be in the $5 to $6 million range.
Let me try to find it. Let me try to find it. Oh, man. What are you looking at, Adam?
I'm looking at tweets from February, so that's probably not helpful.
No, this isn't making for a good podcast.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting. So he switched from Mike Liut from Octagon to Paul Theophanos, who represents Artemi Panarin, who's a good friend, which I believe is
Of you.
what, Paul Theophanos?
He's a good friend of you.
No, he's a different
Panarin.
agency.
Oh.
No, he's a good friend of Tarasenko.
No, I thought you meant Panarin was a good friend of Adam
No,
Wild.
he's not. Good friend
Oh,
of
okay.
no. Which is, I'm assuming, how they sort of ended up on the same team together. I just like he's 31. He's unquestionably the best unrestricted free agent forward left.
People are so annoying. Sorry, what I've found is there's
That stupid Tarasenko picture
there's
that's
a
floating.
photo of Tarasenko
it's a
on
joke.
a plane.
It's a running joke on Twitter.
I know, and people keep retweeting it, going,
He's in
"Oh,
Ottawa. He's in Dallas. He's in whatever.
Tampa. He's in.
Yeah. I know.
You're assholes.
I know. I almost got fooled by that too. So it's all good. I just, I think with Tarasenko, you're looking at a 1-year contract. If Dorian can somehow swing this, okay, let's say he gets what he's looking for in terms of he's able to move to Debrincat with an extension. He gets an asset back. And the asset's a good asset. It's a younger
First
player.
round pick.
Okay, first round pick. And then you get Tarasenko on balance. Doesn't feel so bad. It's not so hard to sell that to the
I don't
public.
hate it at all.
No.
It makes a lot of sense.
I agree, and I'm excited for it. Not because I want the Sens to have something good happen to them and get good players, because I cheer for the Leafs and I want good things to happen to the Leafs. How weird is that? It could open up the league a little bit because Tarasenko finds a landing spot. Mm-hmm. Carolina missed out on him. Mm-hmm. Well, they obviously wanted him. So who do they fill that void with? I know the answer is not no one, right? Debrincat moves to Detroit. Detroit's done a little bit of business. And okay. Well, what does that open up? Mm-hmm. Listen, we're still doing shows here.
Well, I think
We need stuff to
listen.
happen.
There is actually there's a few players holding things up right now.
Calgary is pissing me right off.
They're not doing anything.
You got
We only want players that want to play here. Nobody wants to play here. We're gonna hang on to the players that we got. It's just
they don't call him
bonkers.
Craig Colroy, I guess. Call someone.
There hasn't been a trade in 5 days.
Yeah, there is
Last
there,
trade
That's
was,
bullshit.
there was a
Last trade
player.
was the Patrick Maroon one.
There was a player that was holding things up, and that player has now officially signed a contract. Zach McEwen, a 3-year contract with the Ottawa Senators, $775,000. Here's what I don't get.
Steve, why is that too much money?
What? Why does it? Can I
Because
ask?
it's less than free.
Why does anyone care?
Steve does.
It's a 3-year contract for a guy that just brings some knuckles. It doesn't affect your cap. If he plays,
It's literally league minimum.
yeah, if he plays, whatever. If he doesn't play, then it's like half the amount that you can bury.
Who did
on
he
a-
sign with?
Ottawa, 3 years.
Oh, Ottawa.
People are like, why did they do 3 years? Who fucking cares? You bury the contract in the A. Who cares? I don't know why this matters.
Belleville's nice.
You got to start acting like you have a rich owner because you have a rich owner now.
That's actually
Who gives a shit?
Steve, why is that too much money to play a game?
something about. I need this explained to me on TikTok by someone who has no fucking clue. I need someone to explain it to me. I just think it's very funny that all of a sudden the Atlantic is an arms race.
Oh, to get people to punch people in the face.
Well, the Sens now have McEwen and Imama. The Bruins have potentially Trent Frederick if they bring him back, but also Milan Lucic. Leafs and Reeves, Habs and Jackeye. The Florida Panthers are, it's not going to be. There's no easy outs in the Atlantic.
No, there isn't. Speaking of, based on our conversation last episode, a lot of people think I don't like Kyle Dubas or never liked Kyle Dubas, and I'm like, because I didn't think the
went very
Penguins did a
hard
great
on the
job.
Penguins, so
I was
yeah.
I was hard on them because they're not any better than they were when they started free agency. But
I was right though.
what about?
You were going to get
Oh, that's fine. There's a lot of people who agreed too. I got lots of agreements, a lot of disagreements. That's fine.
Yeah, some people spank your bare bottom.
If you think that I don't like Kyle Dubas, then you haven't listened to this show ever. That said, Josh Yohe with the Athletic had a very interesting piece about why, because they're one of the rumored teams on Erik Karlsson, and Erik Karlsson is holding things up.
Sorry, who is in on Erik Karlsson?
Penguins.
Why?
Well, I think the idea is that you bring more excitement in, and you run with it. Like Karlsson's 33, Crosby, Malkin, Letang all over 35. You're probably got to move Jeff Petrie, who's fine, still a good player. And according to what I could find, if this deal were to happen, it would have to involve a third team, obviously, to take on the salary.
Yeah.
Right? And the Penguins would have to give up a lot to do that. But if the reports are to be believed, it looks as though San Jose might be willing to retain as much as $4 million a year.
Wow.
So now it's an extreme example, but Erik Karlsson at $7 million is all of a sudden a lot easier. Now, what happens if you get a team to take $2 million in there as well? Then you've got Erik Karlsson at $5 million, and that's a lot more palatable. You could make that work if you're Kyle Dubas. And if that happens, I don't know how it would happen. If it happens.
Wait, it can't get down to 5 because I can't more than 50%.
If you bring a third team in.
No, but you can't. Isn't it? You can't retain more than
with one team
50% of a contract
with one team.
Right.
Oh, and then so you can do
50 and 50. It's like what the Leafs did with Foligno.
Yeah, the Leafs got Foligno for a quarter of his salary because I think Blue Jackets retained 50. He was traded to the Sharks, who retained
25,
50% of that.
Oh, okay. So 25 of the total. So you can get up to 75%.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it would be complicated. Dubas has done this deal before, though, as we kind of pointed out there. If that happens,
he's done it with the Sharks.
If that happens, that is going to be a crazy team to watch. I don't know what they'd look like.
Letang and
Karlsson.
Sens fans, here's what I want to know. I'm sure you
Pens fans.
No, Sens.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm sure you hate seeing like an old Sen go to the Leafs. Mm-hmm. Would Karlsson going to the Penguins not kill you?
Oh, man.
2017.
Oh, man.
He had the Conn Smythe wrapped up. Like, if the Sens had gone to the final that year and lost, he still might have won it. And he then joins the team that beat him in double OT Game 7. Ooh. That one would sting.
Obviously, it would be very, very complicated to get that deal done. So here's my other question. And this is a guy that we're not hearing a lot about. If they miss on Karlsson, why wouldn't they go after Matt Dumba?
Ooh.
He's an unrestricted free agent. We know the Coyotes are all over him, but I think he's holding out for maybe an opportunity with a team that's more competitive right now. And if they can move some salary out, like if they have whatever that third team is, if Kyle Dubas is concocting a 3-team trade here, he could still go to them and say, "Listen, will you take some salary off? Is it Jeff Petrie? Is it whoever? Just I don't know enough or know what Kyle Dubas wants with the Penguins roster, but can we move enough salary off so that we can fit Matt Dumba under this?" And the acquiring team gets and I keep using Jeff Petrie, but he seems like the odd man out. You get
oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
You know what I mean? So Dubas would still have, even if the Karlsson deal falls through, probably a third party worked out that he could still use and pay the price and then bring in his guy. And I think Matt Dumba is a guy the Leafs under Dubas were very interested in acquiring, but the price was always too high.
Never happened. And he's not afraid to deal with Minnesota, and he's done 3-way deals with Minnesota as well. I'm just throwing that out there because of
GM relationships actually do factor into this because a lot of GMs don't talk to each other.
Right. Okay. So Penguins fans, this is important. Now, the asterisk on the information I'm going to give you is, Dubas might not have necessarily made every deal that Dubas did. Mm-hmm. Right. He has assistant general managers Brandon Pridham, Haley Wickenheiser, or had them in Toronto, but Doug Armstrong of the St. Louis Blues joined Adam on Agent Provocateur, and he talked about GMs basically only speaking to like 6 people. Now, that's not true for all GMs. Brad Treliving seems to deal with basically everybody. But Dubas, through his time in Toronto, primarily dealt with a few teams very heavily.
Yes.
Off the top of my head, I believe Minnesota was in there. Columbus was in there. For some reason, Ottawa was in there, which was very surprising because the Leafs are in that division. And the number one trade partner was the St. Louis Blues. We already know the St. Louis Blues were up to some big business
They were.
this summer. I feel like you don't just go from wanting to trade Torrey Krug to just simply not doing it.
That's interesting. Same style.
Is there something there? Is that something Torrey Krug would do?
Right.
Because the reason
I don't know. You playing with Crosby seems okay.
Oh, here's a little bit of drama. Nah, this wouldn't happen. But I'll throw it.
Just throw it out there anyway. Who
Fuck it.
cares?
What if Torrey Krug says no to a trade to the Flyers and then goes to the Penguins? That'd be fun. That'd be pretty cool. Or he
The
just
Philly
goes to
fans
the-
would never let him forget that.
he goes to another team involved. It does feel like he's a big move that could still happen if he chooses for it to happen.
If they're going after a defenseman, you wonder why they did the Ryan Graves deal. You know, it's like if they could held on that if they're trying to do Karlsson. I like Graves as a partner.
I don't
with
mind
Letang.
Graves. He's just not
But
that long. I
guess if you make that move, you got to make the subsequent move to move somebody out and then bring in this other defenseman, whether it's Torrey Krug, Karlsson, or Dumba.
I just bought out Jeff Petry's contract on Cap Friendly, $3 million this year, $4.5 million next year, which would
That ain't happening.
wipe out the
They
increase.
don't. Do they have another buyout window? Do they have anybody filing for arbitration? If not, then they don't.
Oh yeah, couldn't they buy him out in August? Isn't there a
No, they would need somebody on their team to file for arbitration to get access to the second buyout window.
such a fucking
Also, with the
complicated cap.
the double 50% retained, you know when that happened?
When?
With Ryan O'Reilly.
Yes.
Oh,
And Minnesota was involved.
Yeah. We didn't bring that.
It
That
was
was
St. Louis and Minnesota. It was two of his favorites.
So I'm looking at this team. Okay, so you got Jake Gensel, one more year at $6 million, 28 years old. I think you keep that.
Sorry, the Penguins do have a player at
There you go.
arbitration. They have Drew O'Connor.
Okay, so you could.
okay. So they're going to get access to the second buyout window. So if you wanted to buy out Jeff Petry, you could.
You got
They ain't doing it.
Brian Rust. You got Brian Rust at $5.125 million for the next 5 years. He's 31. Michael Granlund, who I know that Dubas loved, but that was in 2019.
That's a while ago, man.
He's got 2 more years at $5 million. Ricard Raquel has 5 more years at $5 million. He's like, I'm looking at these numbers too: 31, 31, 30, 32 for Riley Smith, who just signed there. Jeff Carter's got another year at 3.125. You know, you got to wonder if that contract. I'm going to just buy that out. You save $2 million.
Could it be that Kyle Dubas inherited a colossally bad situation?
Dude,
Oh, he did.
we talked about this. I was
Bad.
like, wait a sec. This doesn't look fun at all.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not his fault for struggling to.
Oh, it's the team as it's
fix-
currently constructed is not his fault.
Right. He's trying to fix this roster that's broken, and he's been there for like a month.
He's not inheriting the 2017 Penguins,
No.
right? Like it's 2023, and they have actually struggled for a while now.
No, he has a fucking awful situation. He's got to make it a lot better very quickly. So
They don't have a whole ton of assets.
no.
Boy,
Yeah. So
futures, I should say.
I've been and as I bring up Matt Dumba, I want to just kind of go off. There was some French language reports about Matt Dumba. You know, he's been connected to the Coyotes. A lot of people are saying in the French media because they speculate about everything. What about him to Montreal? They need
Why not?
a guy who can they got Reinbacher, they got Lane Hudson. Can this guy be sort of a long-term guy to help bring those guys up? And as his skills diminish, but he's still a valuable top 4 piece in your lineup, the younger guys take over, and he's the guy that sort of shepherds them into the NHL. Shows them how to be great.
So this is a bad mental block for me. I've just started any interesting free agent. I automatically drop the pool down to 25 teams because they're not going to Canada. Like if Matt Dumba can go anywhere, he's not going here. So yeah, it's an
bit
interesting
extreme.
idea.
I think that's a bit extreme.
It's a bit extreme.
It is a bit extreme. No, I know that. Like, because every Canadian team, except for Calgary, has done some free agency stuff. But I just
Yeah. But like we just talked about Tarasenko to Ottawa is being a real possibility.
Yeah, but it's funny because the mental block still blocks that because you're like Tarasenko's going to Ottawa, and I'm like, what a weirdo. Why would he come to the country that I live in and like?
You know, a lot of them are from here.
Yeah, no.
Isn't
But why
Dumba?
would they come here?
Isn't Dumba Canadian?
Dumba's
No.
right?
Is he?
It is Western
Dumba.
Canadian. I don't remember where.
Um,
Alberta.
The Montreal
What's
Canadiens.
your guess?
Alberta.
What's your guess?
Southern Ontario. You can't just say Ontario. That's a cheat code.
Regina.
Oh, Regine. The Montreal Canadiens with LTIR space have $9.8 million to spend. Because remember Carey Price.
Yes.
So they have the money. Even though they have the money to quote unquote overpay or give him a long-term deal, which, again, any free agent this year is probably like, I don't really want a long-term deal. But if he wanted to make some big cash, Montreal would be a really good place. And they did just trade Joel Edmondson.
Can I be an asshole?
Of course.
Justin Hall gets $3.4 million. What does Dumba get?
Oh, he should be double that.
Dude, I shoot right and I'm an NHL defenseman.
And I'm really good.
I need generational wealth, please.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, of course.
But if you don't sign it on July 1, the money's gone.
Yeah.
No.
Well, at least this year.
He got screwed.
Do you think it'll be the same next year when it goes up that much? There's going to be people are going to spend wildly July 1st, but is there going to be money left?
Oh, yeah,
over?
drunken sailors. No.
Yeah, but they're going to spend all the money within that 24 hours.
You think so, eh?
Yeah, it'll be the
They're
same
going to lose
thing.
their minds.
Yeah. And July 2nd will all be dried up, and then July 3rd will be fucking Sahara Desert.
I think you'll see a shitload of long-term deals.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just want to ask. What did you guys think of the Kopitar extension in LA? 2 years, $7 million per year.
Oh, yeah. I'm really glad something good finally happened to the Kings. It's unreal, man.
It's amazing what they've done. I'm looking at their roster. The only thing that they got to sort out, and you have to think Karlsson probably plays a bit of this. I don't even know how, but the LA Kings I can't imagine that they're going to go with these goaltenders. They got Big Save Dave.
They got Dave Riddick?
Yeah, they got for $875. They got Cam Talbot for $1 million and Phoenix Copley for $1.5 million.
So they looked at the pre-COVID Flames and they said, we need that goaltending. Yeah, no, I don't.
It does feel like John Gibson and or Connor Hellebuck are coming, does it not? Connor Hellebuck more than Gibson.
Or how about fucking anybody? That's pretty shit, man.
I know. It's surprising. It's literally the one thing I'll give them is that
Lots of goals.
last year they thought they had a good goalie with Cal Peterson.
Yes.
And then they found out in the season that they didn't. If they go into this year knowing that they don't have a good goalie, it's a little better. It's not great.
I guess. Talbot's good. But I don't know if you can depend on him to play more than 35 games.
Okay, so I'm going to blow your mind here.
Do it.
Jesse, Jesse, don't look at any stats right now. Look away. Look away. Look up.
Kings signings.
Look up.
Is that fair?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I didn't know if I was cheating.
Tell me Phoenix Copley's record this year with the LA Kings.
Oh, Phoenix Copley. Is
It's
he
really
still on
good.
contract?
Yes, he is. He's got the 1 year.
20 and 5.
I'll say 21 and 11.
Okay, you guys can't do a goaltender without giving me save percentage. Give me a save percentage.
9-14.
Jesse.
904.
It's okay, so you guys were both off on the save percentage. It's a 90. Actually, no, just a little off, Jesse. 903.
Wow, I'm so off.
903.
Oh,
Dumbass.
What a fucking idiot. No, but check this out. The LA Kings were so good that he was 24-6-3.
oh, there you go. Yeah.
That's a really good record, and they got him at $1.5 million bucks. Now, they probably would prefer to play a little bit more of an open style game with a little more confidence in net.
You guys don't remember that
But they
part
can
of the
manage
season
it.
where Phoenix Copley literally saved the Kings
I
season?
forgot about it.
Because both their goalies were just dog shit and injured, and then they call up Phoenix Copley, and all of a sudden this career AHL goalie is saving their season.
The thing is that he was good in Washington a few years ago, too, in 18-19.
Copley?
Huh?
Who's Phoenix Copley?
What is he about to do?
Oh, you mean Phoenix Copley of North Pole, Alaska?
Oh my God.
That's what you have to call him.
Maddie's got her head in her hands. Like, I don't know why.
Of North
you needed to do that.
Pole,
Why did you need to do that?
He's from Santa Claus land, Maddie. He's from the place where Santa Claus is from.
He's played.
Not Finland.
He has started 61 games in his career.
The Finns think he's from Finland.
He started 61
enough.
games in his career. He is 40, 15, and 6. Do you take a bet?
What
on
the
guy?
fuck?
I know. Now he's played 68, but 61 of them were starts. Do you take that chance with this team that should compete for the Stanley Cup, and has some great young goal or defense coming up too? They've Jordan Spence and Brant Clark. Holy shit!
So when you said Talbot and Riddick, I'm like, okay, well they're boned. But when you say Talbot and Copley with Riddick as an insurance policy, that seems a lot better. It's not great, but I think they can go into next season with it. And if they want an upgrade at the deadline, they can do that.
Cam Talbot's record in Ottawa, guys, give it to me. Give me wins, losses, and
In Ottawa? How long?
save
How
percentage.
many games?
He played 36 games in Ottawa.
That was it? Oh my gosh. It probably
Started
so bad.
32 of them, which means he came in relief.
897.
Okay, what do you think your save percentage was there, Steven?
898.
Okay,
And record of how many games?
let's say he started 32,
32 starts.
36 games, but 32.
15, 10, and what was it? 5?
Okay, all right.
I'm going to say
I like the way you said 5 there.
Six. You said. Oh no, you said 32. Oh my gosh, I'm still.
You don't
know.
have to worry about the
I'm
math
not
too
doing
much.
the-
Don't worry about the math. Is it
yeah.
the game's in the 30s? It's in the 30s.
Yeah.
14, 14 and 4.
Oh, I like that. 17, 14, and 2. So you both were close.
Okay.
Not bad.
All right. And Steve, you nailed the save percentage.
No, but you only did that because of my guess, you dickhole.
Yeah,
Oh, fucking Price is Right to me.
So can you, between Phoenix Copley with 24 wins and Cam Talbot with 17 wins, you could probably cobble together a 40, 45 win season with those two goalies.
Yeah, I think so.
They're
I
gonna be
think
fine.
Yeah, they're
LA's gonna be fine. They'll be in the playoffs.
And the thing is that Ottawa wasn't great on defense last year. If they are, we know that the LA Kings are one of the best defensive teams.
Also,
defense.
I think Ottawa set themselves up to be a tandem team, and then the problem with setting
Forsberg.
the problem with setting up a tandem is if one guy gets hurt, then they have to be the starter. But if neither guy was prepared to be the starter, then you're fucked.
Well, and LA looks like a thruple team with Big Save Dave in there too, right?
That'll be interesting. I wonder if they carry 3 goalies or if they have Dave play with the Ontario.
Which one can go down?
None of them. I'm pretty sure they would all have to.
Yeah, but who's claiming Big Save Dave? Who's claiming Cam Talbot?
I mean, the risk you take is, if there's a team out there that desperately needs a goalie due to injury, you just run the risk of losing him.
Yeah.
But then, no offense to Big Save Dave, you simply claim the next goalie available. That's it.
Yeah.
You just need a guy.
He's what you call replacement level goaltending at the NHL at this point.
Unfortunately, if I remember correct, he did okay last year, but he played 18 games. Mm-hmm. He didn't play a lot.
The Kings in their system have somebody named Alex Lafreniere.
Yes, I know. I know. Will he be the better of the Lafrenières? Who knows?
It's possible.
Who
That's
knows? Okay, so a couple of news and notes before we get to the press conference here, but I just thought I had to bring these stories up. Garth Snow, former and longtime Islanders general manager, is saying that he's available now. He's a free agent, and he wants to get back into the NHL. He said he admitted that he misses the draft and free agency period. His contract actually, his 5-year payout, which started in 2018, by the way. He's been paid by the Islanders since 2018. It's the first time he's been able to speak publicly since he was 48 years old. He's now 53.
Jesus. Well, that makes me feel bad for him.
What do we think?
You know what I think?
What do Islanders fans think?
Here's what I think. I think if you go to NHLTradeTracker.com
Do you want me to?
You can arrange. No, I already got it.
Okay.
You can arrange by GM so you can see their trades. I just want to go through some of his greatest hits.
Do it.
You know what? I will say back half Garth Snow did well.
He did. He's better. It was better. They were on the come up.
So he acquired Kristers Gudlevskis for Carter Verhaeghe. That was obviously bad, but he wasn't the only team to give up on him.
The Leafs had already given up on Verhaeghe at that point 2 years previous.
I forgot about this. They acquired expansion draft considerations from Vegas for Jake Bischoff, Mikhail Grabowski, a 2017 first and a 2019 second. That one's tough. He was the GM for the Michael Grabner trade with the Leafs. They traded Griffin Reinhart for 2015 first. That was Matt Barzal and a 2015 second. That was very good. But Mike DiPietro, if I'm not mistaken, was his creme de la creme. And that is what he will be remembered for the most. The Islanders, like Garth Snow was an upgrade on Mike Milbury.
Yep.
Which was a low bar.
It was.
And I'm not sure he did a great job. I'm sure he could land somewhere doing something.
Like scouting or something? I mean, he was an NHL goaltender too. Or
even consultant, maybe even AGM. I think he's got to work his way back up to GM.
You wouldn't just plop him in that role?
No.
Okay.
So with something like this, I always it's weird to question. I think we should question why he's going about it in this way. Because if Garth Snow has all the connections in the world, I assume, in NHL circles, right?
Yeah.
So if he wants a job in the NHL, he calls up his agent or whoever, or he does the legwork himself. He texts whoever and he says, you know what, I want to get back into this. My contract expires, but it has expired. I'm free to do it. But instead, he decided to hit up Kevin Kerr's The Athletic.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I want to do a mini retrospective on the last 5 years where I've been doing. I want to get back in the game and I want to get some publicity in this way. And that right there raises my eyebrows. It's like, I wouldn't go about getting a job in this way by first starting with a public interview in The Athletic. I would instead go and reach out and find out what jobs I can do.
Yep.
I'm fascinated by Islanders fans because, what is the expected reaction? Oh, yeah, Garth.
Right.
Lots of great memories.
So why is it his choice to go directly to, hey, I'm going to get some publicity first and then try and get the job?
Yeah.
Is it because there were nobody who's looking to hire Garth Snow?
Could be that Kevin Kurz has a very difficult job, and that is covering the New York Islanders in the summer.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're difficult to cover at the best of times, but in the summer, when they operate, friggin' Lou Lamoriello turns on incognito mode, and you have to guess who's going to be on the Islanders next year. I don't know. It's an interesting article. We're talking about it.
Yep.
Right.
Is this what you want when you're seeking a job? You want podcasts talking about you?
It's generally not a sign things are going well.
It reads it's a little bit like Garth Snow press release.
Yeah.
And that's no offense to Kevin, but he wanted to do an interview and Garth was like, well, let me tell you about my resume. And Kevin's probably like, oh, God.
First?
Oh, Garth reached out to Kevin for sure.
Definitely.
By the way, I didn't know he had a 5-year payout. Charles Wang, the former owner from the Islanders, really loved Garth Snow and kept him there in the GM spot for 10 years until he sold the team.
They really went from Garth Snow to Lou Lamoriello.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's crazy. The other one that I thought you would find fascinating is former Jack Adams winner Alain Vigneault has said he's not interested in coaching at the NHL level anymore. He's not interested. Him.
You got it.
In making millions of dollars. He for sure doesn't want to be at the pinnacle of the sport anymore. He's just had enough. Now, Andrew Berkshire reached out over text last night, and I think he asked a fair question. A la Jerome McGinley. Did Alain Vigneault retire, or did he have retirement foisted upon him?
No. No, he simply chose it.
He was a great coach.
Was. Yes. But I do think it's funny. No, I'm done. No. And I tell you what, Dua Lipa, stop blowing up my phone. I'm married. All right? That's enough.
He is a career 1,300 games coached, 722 wins, 489 losses, 35 ties, because that's how long he coached, and,
Wow.
117 overtime losses. He coached the Canadians for 4 years, the Vancouver Canucks for 7 during their best years, 5 with the New York Rangers, and 3 with the Flyers. And throughout those seasons, he's only missed the playoffs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Wow.
It's not bad.
I want to give a shout out to Alain Vigneault for retiring reasonably.
You know what always happens? Coaches who are career hockey men calling it quits at an appropriate time. That always happens in the game of
They
hockey.
retire like professional wrestlers for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I'm at the pinnacle. Now it's time.
Now it's time to
Michael
retire.
Jordan, Alain Vigneault, the last dance.
Like, I think there might have been no more jobs for Mr. Vigneault.
I got one more in me. No, these guys, they always...
They always hang on too long. So should we be applauding him
I'm applauding him
for doing the thing that nobody does?
So often you see a coach or executive stay well past their due date. And I'm like, listen, I know you made good money in your career. Like, you ever heard of the beach?
They haven't, though.
I know.
That's the thing. They don't know what that is.
I know,
That's
man.
not true.
Like-
you went to road games in Florida your whole career. They have a beach.
One guy who's retiring this year, and I guess since July 1st passed, he officially retired, is David Poile. And like, we're all like, damn, what a great career. He's retiring early and all that stuff. The man's 73 and is now choosing retirement. You know, like he was the only GM ever over there, and now he's done. And he went long. You know, 73 is very old.
David Poile retired from his first career, hockey, in 1971.
71.
He retired as a player in 1971,
Yes.
2 years after the moon landing.
He got into the
Allegedly.
ENHL. I have no idea what that is. He only ever... So David Poile,
What league is
the
that?
New England Hockey League, which lasted from 1965 to 1973. So he retired 2 years before it ended.
Jeff Merrick definitely knows like they're all leading.
He played 3 games for the Rochester Americans of the AHL, and he also played in the ECAC.
that?
ECAC.
ECAC with Northeastern University. So the ECAC, I believe, is now defunct and now part of the NCAA.
That's a guy who called his
Oh, no,
shot.
I'm wrong. Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference. I'm wrong.
That's a guy who called this shot, the only general manager in Preds history, and he called this shot and he got to stick around until 73.
Oh, it's awesome.
Which is a long age to still be working, you know?
73. And got thanked by... The NHL expanded to 36 teams so they could all thank him at the draft.
We can thank a person once.
Like,
Adam
just thank him
hated
once.
that. Adam was not, and nothing
The
upset Adam
NHL
more.
draft is like they just. How do we be the least entertaining group possible? It's a
like-
bunch of old men in bad suits thanking an old man. Stop it.
Give him his due.
Give him a tribute.
Give him his due.
Yes.
Yeah, literally put up a video. Have like all 32 GMs in the league. Hold my hand.
We are the world.
And they swing back and forth. And they hold up a Dave, we made this for you. And they give him a really nice macaroni picture. And that's it.
Yes.
For the like, dude, we don't need. Let's say every David Poile thank you is 15 seconds. That's it. Times 32. That's 15 times 32 of our life that we never get back. That's, you know what? I can do the math in my head. That's 8 minutes of thank you. Imagine someone thanking you to your face for 8 minutes straight.
It's a lot.
No, that is a lot. You're right. Let's spread it over 4 hours then. All right.
And everybody's mad at me on Twitter for saying it, but I'm like, yo, man, this sucks. We know one thank you is enough.
Next time.
One's enough.
It's a little odd to shit on a guy's retirement party while it's happening.
But
Adam.
I would have said the same last year if it wasn't David Poile retiring. It's always boring. And the GM's always going to be like, I'm going to get a one-liner in here. Anyway, here, I'm an NHL GM. Here's some comedy. The only funny one was Bill Guerin, who was like, thanks to everybody at Tootsie's for keeping us lubricated.
That was funny.
That was it.
He thanked somebody for keeping the tab open. I forget what GM or whatever.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's,
Doug Armstrong?
yeah.
He's like, thanks for covering our bill for Tuesdays for the week or whatever. But Adam, for your thing about Poile retiring in 1971, he's only 21 because he's born in 1950.
I know.
So
That was his first career, though. He
Yeah,
got
but-
paid to play in the AHL.
yeah, but
And they
he didn't have a very long career.
Which he did
He
not
was born
get played.
when?
1950.
Is he American or Canadian?
Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Okay. David Poile
What do you?
could watch the moon landing while drinking a beer.
Really?
What is
When was the moon landing?
He was born in 1950. The moon landing was 1969. He would have been 19 years old.
And it was 18. Drinking age was 18 in Canada at that point.
Then guess what? He could have watched it plastered. He could have watched it off his ass.
Shit. That's crazy.
Not having the reefer, though.
Yeah. No.
No, that's, I believe, life in prison.
Yeah, you don't want the devil's
Yeah,
lettuce.
No, you don't want
Bad.
that.
He also had
0 Stanley Cups for the guy.
Fuck, really?
Yeah, that sucks.
That's
Sucks.
unfortunate.
They got so fucking close in 2017. It was like, oh.
He was a part of the Caps before the Predators were a team, and I don't think they have a cup in that.
Not with
time
him.
frame.
No. Not with him.
Would he have gotten 2 finals? Would he have been with the Caps when they made it to the final in 97? No, I think that was the Preds' first year.
Poile. He was with the Flames for a little bit.
Did he win a cup with the Flames?
No.
Only 1 year he could have been there. Well, I still want to thank him for 8 minutes straight.
Last thing before we do the press conference, Chase McCallum, CM Hockey 66, who you should follow. He's a data guy, and you also listen to this show. Nice guy. He has a 10-year rolling average. In this case, it's 7 years of players that have made the NHL. And what he found from 2010 to 2017 is the draft is getting more efficient, especially at the high end. People are playing more, they're playing longer, and scouts are getting better. But I thought it was super interesting that between picks, it looks like about 15 and 25, the numbers actually are spiking in terms of players that are picked in that range that are making the NHL and sticking it. And the reason he only went to 2017 is because players drafted after 2017 are probably still pretty young. So it can skew things.
Yeah.
But I just thought it's quite fascinating. And another spike, oddly, right after pick 75. Don't know why, but you can see it. Obviously, it starts, pretty high, and then it sort of evens out. And by the time you get to pick 50, you're still a little bit higher, just a little less than 50% chance this player stays in the NHL. But it's not that much different than pick 100.
Because the safe pick, I think, is going away.
Yes.
So maybe late in the first round. That used to be when you go with, you know what? He's going to make our lineup. He's going to be a third rounder. We're going to get Frederick Oche. No, now you go out and still, I bring this up every now and then. One of the most mystifying draft picks of all time was PK Subban in 2009. Because I see he gets drafted to Montreal. I see it was in the second round. And this was after a year of fanfare of how good this player is. I'm like, why did he go in the second round?
Right.
Everyone knows he's good. Yeah, well, he's got flaws in his defensive game. Yeah, all right. But he's very obviously a first-round talent.
Yep.
Pick him in the second round.
Interestingly, too,
Or first round.
first-round picks, he said part of the reason for the change is that the top picks, on average, have become shorter and higher scoring. From 2010 to 2022, there is a pretty significant drop in terms of height. Because remember, the NHL pre-2010 was just pick the biggest guy and teach him how to play hockey.
Teach him how to play. That's such a good way of putting it, too.
That's what it was.
Well, we like his frame.
Yeah, he's got a big
Can't
frame.
move, pass, or score. But we like his frame.
I just thought it was fascinating. He pulled the data from Elite Prospects. Very, very cool. At CM Hockey 66. And listen, trying to explain a graph on a podcast is difficult, but I just thought it was worth pointing out. It's fascinating.
Why not?
Jesse, what are you looking at?
I'm preparing.
Oh, you're
stuff.
preparing
What
for
are you
trial.
doing?
I'm like, is he?
What are you doing?
Are we going into that video for this? Okay, anyway, let's get into the press conference.
I thought he
Oh
was
my
playing-
God.
I thought he was playing it underneath us.
Jesse, what are you doing?
Steve Dangle
Get the
press
next segment
conference.
ready.
Oh,
He's
man.
sassy. He
Oh,
is sassy.
thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you, Maddie.
guys.
He is sassy.
Thanks, guys.
Imagine- boy.
Imagine someone totally blowing something right before you do it. It'd be
Yeah.
bad if someone did
That
that
would suck.
often.
That'd be awful.
No remorse. Wouldn't it be bad?
Okay. All right. Let's get to the thing I was setting up before Adam ruined it. Last episode,
Yeah, we're going to Sweden.
I mentioned this TikTok account, and I thought it'd be fun if we did it. So it's a TikTok account called Epic Warz.
Oh,
where
okay.
they have two things, the hypothetical situations, and they battle it out.
I'm in.
So on their account, they have a whole bunch of different scenarios. It'll be like 10 ostriches versus 3 million gorillas or whatever it is.
I don't.
So-
That's not very even.
It's not very even. So I pulled up one that was a little more even. 3 Gokus, Goku famously from Dragon Ball Z, if you're not familiar, versus 1 million ostriches. And they have a simulation. I don't know what program they simulate this in, but it's hilarious. And I think we should take a look at it. And
we guess
they're going
it?
to
Who's
battle
gonna
it
win?
out. And the two of you, Adam versus Steve, you pick your side on who you think is going to win. The 3 Gokus or the 1 million ostriches.
All right.
Yeah, 3 Gokus is a lot of Gokus.
Yeah, but ostriches are one of the fastest land animals, running at top speeds of 80 kilometers an hour.
But Goku trained at 1,000 times gravity when he became just before he became Super Saiyan.
Also, ostriches, flightless bird. Goku can fly.
All right, Jesse, let's see the results.
Did you pick your teams?
Oh.
No, wait. This is very important. This is very important.
All right.
Okay.
What version of Goku are we getting? Can he turn Super Saiyan?
I'm not sure.
I'm going ostriches.
Adam?
Gozu.
Oh God. I'm going Goku's. They're Goku's
No,
amazing.
Gozu.
No, I'm going Goku.
Goku? You're picking Goku?
I'm bringing the zoo down.
Let's see if there's some sound on this too. All right. You guys ready? It's a
million.
2-minute battle. It takes 2 minutes for somebody to win.
Oh, cool.
So we can skip ahead if we get to the middle portion. But
This will be an audio experience.
Let's see. Steve, this is your job to describe the action. Play by play. Get your Leaf Stream experience going here.
Epic Warz YT.
Adam, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, you're not watching. There you go. Okay.
Okay, so the ostriches have their battle cry. Goku is slaughtering them by the hundreds.
That's what I thought. He's so fast.
with energy balls from afar. The ostriches,
This isn't fair.
despite being one of the fastest land animals,
This
is
isn't
not
What are they
fair.
gonna kill him with?
outrun
What are they gonna kill him with?
the Kamehameha beam,
They're just spamming Kamehameha.
spirit bomb. Okay, so this
Man, they haven't even reached the Gokus yet.
this is pre Super Saiyan Goku.
Yeah, he's regular ass Goku.
So they gotta run as fast as they can. You gotta get under these Kamehameha beams.
That's a lot of 1 million ostriches is quite the visual.
For anybody who's a history major, this is like the Battle of Agincourt. Just throwing that out there. If you get it, you get it. Oh my God. A million ostriches is a lot of ostriches. eh?
There's still so many left.
Visualized.
It's a lot.
It's crazy.
And the graphics are really good.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. Like, man.
Also the
Yeah.
like the ancient
sound.
Roman soldiers. It's ostriches.
We're halfway through the battle. We're halfway through the battle now. There's about a minute left, 50 seconds actually, and I think the Gokus are gonna take this. Oh yeah, it's
Oh, they're
speeding up
sped it
now.
up.
Yeah, they just Kamehameha blast them all off. It was an easy victory.
See,
Not a
interestingly,
single-
if this were a
Oh,
video
there you go.
game, there would have to be a cooling off period between Kamehamehas. And that might even the score.
They do take a little bit of a break.
Do they?
Yeah. You see the Goku's like reset for like 5 seconds.
I'm on
but
the other
not-
side of the room. It's hard for me to see. But I could tell you that.
Oh yeah, this wasn't close.
All right, I'm just saying.
There's the last set of
there's
ostriches.
some ostriches. They got away.
Yeah,
They're hiding
let's
behind.
go.
They're behind a hill. They can't see him. They can't see him. He's gonna sneak up on him.
Sneak attack. Fuck him up.
Oh,
Wheel around.
they're
Hit him in
trying.
the flank. Hit him
They're
in the
trying.
flank.
Look at this guy, Leroy.
Oh, and that's it.
Goku's.
There it is.
Man, 3 versus 1 million and not a single hit for the ostrich. Here's the
No.
thing with the ostriches. What are they going to do once they get to Goku?
Peck the fuck out of him.
With those tiny little beaks? Like, that's
Oh,
scary to us, but to
oh.
Goku?
Adam.
Nah.
Listen, I don't know if you know this. I used to work at the zoo. And they peck real hard. They also have razor talons.
Did you get pecked by a...
God, no.
No.
I didn't get anywhere near an ostrich.
Right. Yeah, because apparently they just don't... Certain of them are fine, but some of them just don't like people.
I fed a hippo.
That's scary. They are apparently the most dangerous animal on the face of the earth.
Yep. It was a little scary. And I also pet a rhino's horn.
And how was the rhino about that?
He was pretty chill.
Yeah?
Chill rhino.
I'd be freaked the hell out to be anywhere near a rhino.
So, like an engine or something backfired, like a few seconds after I had my hand on the horn, and he bashed his horn against the metal post, because it was sticking its horn through, sort of. And had my hand still been there, like
You wouldn't have had a hand.
I wouldn't have had it.
It'd been gelatin.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like we took so many safety precautions, and like he was calm, I was calm, but like, oh yeah, what if it gets startled by something?
Okay.
Now would a million rhinos?
All right, what do we got,
Let's
Jesse?
do 100,000 Jedi versus 100,000 chickens.
So I am somewhat familiar with this channel's work. Adam, these are not ordinary chickens.
Okay.
What kind of chickens are they?
The chickens that shoot very aggressive eggs from their arse.
Is that what these chickens do? All right, now.
I don't know if these are the egg shooting chickens.
Okay,
or
because
the
there's
pecking ones.
100,000 chicken versus 100,000 Jedi. First off, in the Star Wars universe, even at their height, there was only 10,000 Jedi in the galaxy in the Old Republic. In the late days of the Old Republic, there's only 10,000. So 100,000 Jedi. That's a lot of Jedi. Now, if they're
No, these are the
firing
multiverse Jedi.
if they're firing eggs out of their arse, that's their artillery. You would think with a lightsaber you'd be able to cut that in half midair.
Based on the comments, these are the egg firing chickens. Yes.
Let's go!
All right, so are you taking the chickens?
I think
You got to be team chicken.
You
I think
got to
it's
be
the-
team chicken.
The Jedis that get scrambled.
Oh, that's good. Hey. Adam, you got to be team
I'm
Jedi.
definitely team Jedi.
All right,
Definitely.
Who won the first battle?
I did.
Adam did. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's 1-0 Adam. Best 2 out of 3.
I actually have no idea who's going to win this. I'm kind of scared that it's even. These must be offensively gifted chickens.
So it's best 2 out of 3. So if Adam wins, if the Jedis win here, Adam wins the series.
Right.
If the chickens win, then we go to sudden death.
That's right. It's
Okay.
also important that that those are the type of Jedi that only fight defensively because they're light side Jedi with the blue sabers, and so they will not take an aggressive stance. Their goal is to disarm, not to kill. So that might actually be working against me in this. Throwing that out there.
I think it's important to note you're making excuses.
Just saying.
All right.
Just saying.
Here we go.
Get ready to get clucked.
Steve, we need some play-by-play.
All right.
All right, let's go.
Okay,
All right.
so
hold on. The Jedi are charging. Why are the Jedi charging?
Why are they?
Oh, there
here
we
you
go.
go.
The egg.
Because
shit.
the chickens have range attack, bitch. Here we go.
The Jedi are not defending against the eggs. Why?
The sound of it.
Just 100,000.
Now, here's the thing. The Jedi are falling in droves, but the chickens have no defense whatsoever. Have the Jedi breached the line? Yes, they have.
Oh, they have.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, once the Jedi getting closer,
Yeah.
you're screwed.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like
But
they're
the Jedi can't attack from afar, so if they can just shoot the eggs a little further.
The chickens are not backing off, though. You'd think they'd be like more of a skurmish infantry,
Jedi
Get in,
are
throw your
very
shit, get out of there.
No, it's not
Slowly
close.
but methodically advancing.
Yeah.
The chickens are falling.
Steve.
No.
Steve, your chicken.
Oh, no.
Use your
Steve.
omega-3 power. Look how
Steve,
many
your
fucking chickens there are.
Oh, the Jedi are swallowing up their
Yeah.
line.
No, that's
You're
it.
now even being flanked, too.
No,
That's it.
We need a victory in waves.
You're
oh
done.
wait, those are all Jedi. Oh my god.
Oh, my God.
You're
I
done.
thought those were chickens.
Sorry, Steve.
Oh, 10 Jedi were eliminated though, so it was a close one.
It was. This is an incredible idea, Jesse. I am absolutely blown
Can
away.
we get Sports Interaction to put a ball on?
Fuck yeah, let's do that.
I don't think
Dave
you can.
Dave would be like, "What the hell?" Dave is the most mature person when we're on this show.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like he would be like, "What is this, guys?"
All right, so we have chickens. Now, here's what you got to know. A chicken, obviously, very small bird, some flight capabilities, but also a ranged attack. not everyone has a ranged attack. So what can you do with that? We have the chickens at plus 900,000. Oh my God.
Jesse, are you going to do one more? What do you think?
You want to do one more?
Can we do one more?
Okay, this one has 8 points. All of the views on this are crazy. Like this one has 20 million views.
Because we're all broken.
The one we just watched is 1 million, but there's a Super Soldier one that has 8.7.
We're
Goku one has 6.7.
Shattered society.
All
Shattered.
right, let me see this one.
I love this.
This is. Hold on.
Hank Green, shut up.
So we can do 20 Super Archers versus Chuck Norris, or 1 Super Cleopatra versus 1 million Ostriches.
Ooh.
What are
What is a
Cleopatra's
super? What's a
powers?
Super Cleopatra? She can throw balls of fire, kind of like
what the
Goku.
She looks stronger than Goku. No, okay, we've already watched too much of this.
Okay. We'll do the Chuck Norrises versus Archers.
Okay. 20 super archers.
Yeah. Who do you got?
I guess have friggin' Maxim gun arrows.
Yeah, how do they? Okay, how do you? What is it? That's a lot versus
Firing
just one
what
Chuck
appears
Norris.
to be 3,700 arrows in one pull.
Their
Yeah.
arrows will blot out the sun.
The Super Archers.
Chuck Norris will be fighting in the shade. I wonder with okay. So here's what I'm wondering about Chuck Norris's skill level. I don't know it as well. I know I watched Walker Texas Ranger. I understand, but like, are we looking at a situation here where he's going in just with the jeans and the jean jacket with no t-shirt underneath like he used to wear and the rippling abs? Because that's not the kind of armor that's, like that. Those are one arrow.
Is he
one
wearing
arrow.
a hat? That could affect things.
Because yeah, imagine if the hat's a big Texas hat, is it armored? And so when the arrows fall, it's like an umbrella.
Right? An arrow umbrella. It's only, I assume.
I'm a little concerned it's 20 super archers though.
Well, it's only going to take one hit. So can Chuck Norris, between getting from range to the archers and then hitting the archers, probably one hitting them, I'm going to go with, this is going to take 45 seconds. Can he survive for 45 seconds?
Yeah, because he's going to lose.
Let's watch.
He's going to lose. I'm going with the super archers.
By the way, this game that they're playing, it's a game apparently. It's called Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator, and it's on Steam. And they just released Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. So maybe we download it over in the streaming room from Steam and we just play it. We just make battles and we play.
Love that idea.
That'd be fun.
Love that.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this game to ruin my life.
All right. So who do you guys got?
I'm going to take the archers.
Archers? Steve got Chuck Norris?
I'm loyal to the Ostriches. Let's go.
All right. What?
The what?
They're going to win.
Here we go.
That is an insane amount of arrows. There's Chuck Norris. Okay, so a lot of the arrows missed, which is bullshit.
Oh, wow. So he can run really fast and outrun the arrows.
But they haven't hit him with one?
Yeah, no.
Oh, it sounds
He's doing
like
great.
It sounds like they're making contact. So his body is riddled with metal and wood.
It's so hard to see.
He's probably been hit
What
with
are
about
they doing?
25,000 arrows.
What are these archers doing?
Being super. They're wearing pointy hats.
I think Chuck Norris is going to win this if they can't hit him with any arrows.
Oh my God, look at that. It's like a Gatling gun of archers.
Yeah, he's just going to run up to them and kick their butts.
Hold on. Where is he?
Oh, did they get him?
Where is he? Did they get him?
No.
No, he's taking them out one by one.
Oh, you're right. The archers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the arrows are getting smaller.
Yeah, no, that's Chuck.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Oh, did Chuck win?
Chuck
How long did
it.
that take?
No.
I said
1
45
minute.
seconds.
1 minute.
Oh, Chuck, you bum.
All right.
There you go.
By the way, this is why this is a
done.
good thing. It's a good reason we didn't have, it's pretty good that we didn't have a boss. Because you imagine having to pitch a segment like that to your boss or explain it afterwards?
All
No
right.
way. And it's going to work.
Sports.
Did it work? That was
Let
pretty
me tell
fun.
you something. You ever heard of super archers? You ever heard of the chickens who go like cover their butt? You ever heard that?
Egg butt chickens,
Yeah.
All right. You know what, Jesse? Let's save them for Monday. What do you think?
The Jedi Master beat 100,000 ostriches. I can.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
No,
I was
that
going to
was-
watch that, you dick.
That one. All right.
Whatever.
All right. Listen, we hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week. So we'll see you then. Any plans for this weekend, guys, other than the golf tournament? What are you doing?
This TikTok.
TikTok account
Every day.
I'm gonna try and get that game in the room so you can play it.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be sick.
Yeah.
It'd be so much fun. I wonder what kind of options they have.
Oh, did you see the Debrincat trade?
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction. Want to bet?
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.